just a pilot in his cockpit seated. Black leather on his ass, keep a hustler heated. Weed is engaged.
Hey guys, I'm just getting home and just driving around in my car. It just got me really thinking about something that I wanted to see what everybody's thoughts were. This car is a automatic, 8-speed automatic. And this is my first real modern automatic that shifts fast. The paddles are like on point. There's lots of gears. I mean, I think a lot of us grew up with automatics being like always the worst transmission. Like they've been 4 speeds for a really long time. Some of them were even 3 speeds. I had a Cavalier that had a 3-speed transmission. In the past, automatics didn't have very much benefit. They didn't give you control over the gears. If you wanted to shift gears, you couldn't. Like you could try to put it into drive 1, drive 2, but it was just always really difficult to pick which gear. So if you ever wanted to race it on a track, do autocross, it was just really hard with an automatic. Drag racing, it was worse too. I mean, not only were there only 4 gears, so you had like a super tall first gear most of the time, there was always some compromise with just 4 gears. And usually it was pretty significant. And with a clutch car, it would always be a 5-speed, and then rather quickly they became 6-speed. But even then, the automatics were really bad. But for anyone who hasn't had a modern automatic, and I know this transmission in my scatpack here isn't even really the best. There's even normal torque converter automatics that are better than this one, I know. It shifts so fast, and it gives you really good control over the gears. It's a lot better than I ever thought it would be. And it really got me thinking, am I still a manual person? I've always loved manuals, and you know, you just always had more control over the car, and it always felt like you were a real enthusiast if you stuck with the manual and you used the manual, even in traffic and stuff. It was just always like, yeah, that guy. And eventually a lot of people didn't even know how to drive manuals, and you always kind of, as an enthusiast, you look down on those people a little bit, like, you know, like you don't really know how to drive a car if you can't drive a manual, which is mostly true. But today, automatics are so good that I just don't know if that really applies. And it's just really changed my thinking of what a transmission should be in a car and what benefits you would get out of a manual over an automatic in modern times, like today. Like for example, the Hellcat Challenger, the manual version is just slow. I mean, I'm not hating on it. I know a lot of people got them, and I'm sure it's a fun car, but the automatic is just way better in terms of performance. Like it's night and day. And really it's because of the transmission. It's because of the number of gears it has, how fast it shifts. And I just wonder, like, is it really worth being a manual person anymore? Like, I didn't have an option on this car, but if I did have an option, I probably would have gotten the manual. My last performance car I had, the WRX, was a manual, and I was fine with it. Like, I just drove it. I drove it in traffic, everything. And, you know, it gets kind of annoying when stop and go traffic. You know, I live in Houston and I'm in stop and go traffic a lot. You know, when I came to get this car, I was forced to get an automatic because I didn't have a choice. Because usually if I have a choice, I get manual. My Mustang was manual as well. But just driving this car has completely changed my opinion. I don't think, and this is going to pain me to say it, I don't think I'm a manual person anymore. I think I prefer automatics. As long as it's a good modern automatic, it's just better. It's better in almost every way. And I know a lot of people will debate this and say, no, it's not. It's, you know, manual does this better. I think the manual version of the ZL1 was quicker around like some tracks and stuff than the automatic version, which is surprising. But it was just a little bit quicker. So I know their manuals still have their place and they're still good at some things, or as good as the automatic. But just as a whole, the manuals are worse today. A lot of manufacturers even have completely gone away from manuals. It's just a dying thing, and I'm kind of thinking now that it needs to die. Like, it's just something that, you know, doesn't really matter anymore. Just kill it. And it really hurts me to say that because I've been a part of the Save the Manuals crew for a long time, but why? I mean, why have a manual? I just don't see what you're getting out of it. You're not getting any more performance. You're not getting anything. I mean, you're just getting a worse transmission. And does your nostalgia really matter that much, and you're feeling the good feeling of rowing gears. I don't know. I mean, I haven't done it for a while now. I mean, I haven't had my WRX for, I don't know, 6 months. I don't miss the manual in it. I mean, I guess it was kind of fun at times driving the manual, but I don't really miss it. I mean, the transmission in this car is so good that I don't think I would want another manual anymore. I mean, maybe if it were like just a dedicated race car or weekend car, but something that I'm going to drive every day, I just don't see why I would get a manual. And it hurts. So just kind of wanted to see how everybody else thought about that, because I know a lot of my subscribers right now are Mopar people. Maybe some discussion we can hear from the manual people. Why'd you get a manual, and do you like it? Do you wish you got an automatic? Because unfortunately, your transmission is worse than the automatics. You're probably not going to be able to run the same times. I know you're not going to be able to run the same times, and you know your car is just slower. Are you okay with that? Put it in the comments. I want to get some good discussion on this, because I'm really curious, because my mind has been blown with this car, especially with the power it has now with the Pro Charger. It shifts so fast. It's just, I can't see. It's just night and day. It's great. The rims are here. The tires should be here probably this week. So, peace.
Just a pilot in his cockpit seated. Black leather on his ass, keep a hustler heated. Weed is engaged in the pavement. Brother escorts like I'm seeking arrangement. Push the gas, escalate the gauges, escalate hits on the cam girls' pages, blazes, and hit him with a script full of sexy phrases.